And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Derek Clark's our guest, Executive Director, Broadway Theater League. And he's been in that job since 2016. Where were you before that?
Oh my gosh. I was in the fashion industry. I was the vice president of Eli Tahari, and which is a New York City designer. He's been in the business for 40 years. Prior to that, I was with Perry Ellis and Steve Madden, all at the executive level for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I took, on my 30th anniversary, it was a point in time where I wanted something a little more on the personal side. I was in that industry for a long time.
That was New York City, San Francisco?
San Francisco was where I'm from, and where I started my career. And I moved after 15 years to New York City and went to work for Steve Madden.
Utica, New York versus San Francisco, New York City.
It's quite a difference,
yeah,
right?
It's a jump. How have you acclimated to our area?
Oh, I've acclimated well, I believe. It is quite a difference. If I'm used to, San Francisco is a big city, but it's also the smallest big city in the country. It's really not that big. It's 6 miles by 7 miles, so it's 42 square miles, and has about 650,000 people. Well, then you go to New York City, and New York City during commuter hours or theater hours, you can be looking up to 18 million people in one city. I enjoy that hustle. I enjoy the bustle. I enjoy the fast pace. And here in Utica, it is much slower. It's a slower pace, but I haven't slowed down yet. I keep going, and I think that that's what's made us a little more successful here, is that I think like a New Yorker and I work like a New Yorker.
Are the numbers up for Broadway Theater League?
Yes, they are. They've been up since my first year being here. Each year we've had double-digit increases, and this year we'll outnumber last year. And that's looking at an average per show as well, because you can obviously if you have more shows, you're going to do more revenue and have more subscribers. So if you look at it, I look at everything on an average per show. And if you look at an average per show, that's going to give you a true reading exactly where your metrics are. And I'm very happy with where we are now and what we've accomplished in the last almost 4 years. I know that it will peak at some point in time, and Broadway, as well as any type of business, is very cyclical. So I think it's just on the planning part of that. You have to be ready for it, and I'm ready for it every year.
Who makes the decision? Is it a decision-making process involving other people, or is it just strictly your decision on which shows to bring in here?
Internally, it's my decision, and I'm very fortunate to have a board that trusts me in making those decisions. And I work very closely with the producers and the booking agents in New York City, and and the show executives. So I think that when I'm there and I'm working with them, it's very much a partnership, and we work together to make that decision.
And we're going to go over this year's season in a second, but is there a show that you wanted to get in here this season that you didn't get?
Yeah, there are a couple that just didn't fit. And when I'm looking at, and this is my transferable skills from being in the fashion industry and having so many different umbrellas, I look at this business exactly the way I ran a fashion house. It's no different. When you're running a fashion house, you have a designer who wants to have everything, and doesn't think about the financial risk
Would that be like a director?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And everybody just wants more, but you need to have more of the right stuff. You need to have more of what's going to sell, and you never want to be stuck with bad inventory. I treat this business exactly the same way. So I treat every show as a segment in the same logic that I would treat if I was in a fashion house. How many women's dresses are we going to own, design, and buy? How many pants are we going to own, design, and buy? Blouses, same type of thing. So I'll have my pant show, my blouse show, my dress show, Yeah, and I work it that way. I want a show to, one particular show to appeal to the kiddies. I want a show to appeal to the mothers. I want a show to appeal to the daughters. And I want a show to appeal to the grandparents. And I want a show that appeals to the men. So I look at that and make sure that I have a very cross-pollination of shows that's going to appeal to the masses. And I always want to have that one show that is also going to appeal to mom, to grandma, and the granddaughter. Because we know, and you know, that in every household, the women make the decision.
Derek Clark's our guest. We said we were going to talk to you about the upcoming season, so we're going to do that when we come back. Short break, right back.